And we are visiting today with Rosemarie D'Alessandro, the author of The Message of Light Amid Letters of Darkness. It's now available. It's an incredible book. Also, there's a documentary. And if you've just tuned in now, Rosemarie is the mother of beautiful Joan Angela D'Alessandro. While delivering cookies on Holy Thursday of 1973, Joan became the victim of a heinous crime at the hands of a neighbor who lived 3 houses away. Usually, that's just amazing. Concerned communities, those who searched for her, and the nation learned of her fate on Easter Sunday. With the loss of innocence, society's emphasis on child safety changed overnight, and Rosemarie D'Alessandro has been a major part of that. Rosemarie, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Hi, everybody. Oh, hi, Lori. It's so good to hear your voice and talk to you.
So nice to hear. Yes.
And I love what you're saying.
So nice to hear your voice. You have been a fighter for how many years, Rosemarie?
Since I started 32 years ago, on like September 30th, when we had the vigil in town, and that was in 1993, and that was to keep the killer of Joan in prison. So we had to start really, really loud and with a lot of hands to make it happen, or he was going to be out, and he was very, very dangerous.
Well, he's not dangerous anymore. He's shoveling coal with the devil, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So let's let I'm just going to read a little passage here, Rosemarie. So the neighbor was convicted. I don't even want to mention his name. The neighbor was convicted of murder.
I know what you mean.
I know. We'll call him the killer, right, Rosemarie? If that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll call him the evil one. Joan's neighbor was convicted of murder in the first degree and sentenced to life. Life is life, imprisonment. But he was eligible for parole after serving over only 14 years. Now, Rosemarie, can you please tell our listeners why and what you had to go through to keep him imprisoned?
Well, at that time, in 73, 14 years meant life. That was the most.
It's amazing.
A killer of such horrendous killer only got 14 years. So that meant after 14 years, he'd be eligible for parole, and he has a chance to come out into the world. So it was a very, very, very terrible situation. And things had been changed in our laws. The previous year, there was death penalty in 72.
Yes.
And then 73, it's absolutely, completely a turnaround. And I mean, 14 years is so ridiculous. I don't know where these people's heads were, but they weren't on straight. Who did that?
It's the liberals. Yeah. It's the liberals who fight for life, but yet they don't remember the lives that were lost at the hands of these heinous criminals and killers, as we have today with we had Laken Riley and this beautiful mother of, I think, 3 or 4 children who was murdered. It just goes on and on and on, and it just doesn't stop. To me, you take a life, it's in the Bible, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. There are many people that are found innocent on death row, but very rarely. So, Rosemarie, tell us.
I tell you, see, I don't go liberals, conservatives. To me, it's the people. It's all people. These legislators are people with hearts and minds and consciences and virtues. So that's what I see. I don't look at, this is such a big universal situation. I mean, it's not bipartisan. So in my head, I just think of, where the people's sense was. Where was it? Well, so I have to work with this, right? I got to work with it. Our family and the community, what we had to deal with is his coming up for parole. And he came up in 87, he came up in 83, he came up in 98, came in 2008. So therefore you have all those times, and I, as the mother, would have to testify and go through the whole process again. I had to get into that point in my mind, what happened in 73, to be able to do a good job, to relate it to these people in the parole board that don't know anything about hardly about the story, don't know who I am, don't know who Joan is. So you have to bring everything alive. Meanwhile, you going through it have to go through it again and again and again. So that's what that law was doing 14 years. So then I knew we had to have change. Because of this, we had to stop it. No other person had stopped it. My family, the community would not have to go through it. I wouldn't have to go through it. I said, it has to start. Somebody has to do it. So I says, well, it looks like it's going to be me.
Thank goodness.
And I'm going to be inspired by the baby. Okay?
Exactly.
Who was 7 years old and already into social justice. And tremendous emotional intelligence. This was Joan. So we could not put that special energy, who she was, and leave her in the cemetery. It had to start. She wanted to say, she was telling me, I'm alive. I could do things. And it was in a different way. It was going to be in every single way except physical. So I was going to be the physical one, and I was going to be the voice. So therefore, that's what happened, like you say, about this 14 years.
Yeah.
Lori, that's what happened.
And through that came your first legislation. Let's let everyone know, our listeners know, what your first legislation was for children that you had passed. Rosemarie, you have so many legislations that you worked so diligently.
Yeah. The first one came out in 1973. So that we started working on in 1994. So it took 3 years, and we're bringing out the story that hadn't been out for 20 years. We're bringing out Joan. I had to bring out Joan, okay? I had to bring her out to the people. This is Joan. This is what happened. But I wanted them to know Joan's energy, this person, who she was, and this legacy that was going to start and then go on. So that was like my purpose in getting, when I was going through the law. Now the law, it says no parole ever, no parole ever. That means no testifying, no paroles. The families don't have to go through that. Society doesn't have to go through that. And that means no parole ever for people that sexually molest children under 14. Because a child in New Jersey meant under 14. Okay? So that's what that first law was.
And
that was signed in 1997.
Joan's Law, correct? Joan's Law.
It's called Joan's Law.
Okay.
It's called Joan's Law. Yeah.
So that was the first. And listen, a child at any age. And then you went on. How long before our break? I don't want to interrupt Rosemarie during her. Josh, how long before our next break? We have about 3 minutes. We have what? I can't say.
Minute 30.
Minute 30. Rosemarie, I'm not going to start with the other ones, but I'm just going to make mention when we come back, you can tell our listeners about these other legislations that you had passed. Absolutely wonderful. Then we're going to talk about the book, The Message of Light and Amid Letters of Darkness. We're going to talk about your documentary and where you are now. And you have two more legislations, two bills that you're going to get passed. You are amazing. The other bills, we'll go Joan's Law, federal. Justice.
We have Joan's Law, and we have federal the next year, okay?
Okay.
So it's the same type of bill the next year that all throughout the United States on the federal level. Then in 2000, we had the Justice Victims Law. So that gives victims a chance to sue anytime. We only had 2 years before. After 2 years, you could not sue.
Right.
So I changed that law.
That's
and
incredible.
I made up the words. I made up the words for it.
We want to hear.
We want every law.
We want to hear because coming from a mother, absolutely. And Rosemarie's going to be with us.
And grassroots did not know anything about laws.
So I can imagine. Yes,
I could be an incentive, for people.
You are. You
that
are.
in situations where they can take it up and let's
Yes,
go. You know,
you are a
Let's go,
hero.
you
You're a
know?
hero, Rosemary. And
Yeah.
Rosemary, please stay with us. We want to hear more.
Okay.
If you have any
All right.
questions or comments, please 609-927-1100. We are with Rosemarie D'Alessandro, the mother of beautiful Joan Angela D'Alessandro.
ABC.
We are speaking with Rosemarie D'Alessandro, the mother of Joan Angela D'Alessandro, and the book that we'd like to talk about, I would like to talk about, it's an amazing book, The Message of Light Amid Letters of Darkness, and it's now available for you. So, Rosemary, welcome. Thank you. It's always an honor to have you on the show.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Lori.
Rosemary, we went to break. I would like to finish these other laws, these legislations that you had passed. So important. So you did justice. So Jones Law Federal, that went federal, correct? And that was on October 30th, 1998.
Right, yes. And then you have another one, the Justice for Victims Law, and that eliminated the statute of limitations for suing the killers. Like, so victims could sue them anytime after the crime, even if the crime was 50 years ago.
Wow.
And it did give that law that I wrote up and initiated gave someone $10 million.
Good for you. Whoa, did they ever get it, though? You know, these...
Yes,
Good,
they
good,
got it.
good. Well, I hope that you received something of that because you deserved it. So let's talk about...
Well, we got very little. We got a little bit, just a little bit.
But
we got whatever we got, I used.
And I know we're going to let everybody know what you
foundation.
use it for the children. Absolutely.
For the foundation, yeah.
And Jones Law, New York. Now, what was that in reference to, please? The same topic.
Jones Joy, New York was the next one, that 2004. It was the one that was similar to the first one, but it's in New York State.
Okay.
No parole ever, no parole ever for the sexual offenders and murders of children under 14. And then after that, what we did was took the first law, which was for under 14, and I always wanted it for all minors, even at the beginning when I first started, but knew it couldn't be done. So it still was on my mind. So we got it finally in 2000. That was 2017. And that one says no parole ever for these people that do what they do, and for all minors under 18. So this will be the teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Very important, very vulnerable subjects.
Absolutely.
Now we're going for two more.
Tell us.
And one is in New York State. The one in New York State is to raise the age to under 18. And we've been working on this since 2019.
Wow.
Today I will call. I will, because it takes constant, reminding yourself, you have to make this call now, you got to make that call, or else you have to constantly be reminding them. So now it'll be to schedule an appointment with the senator, to talk to him, and to see, if they could put it in the codes committee. This is New York State, so we get this in New York State under 18. Now, I must have tried many times. I don't even keep an eye out, but going for this, and I will not stop because it's too important.
Good for you.
And that's what I do. But I don't make it take up my life. I'll write it down in the book, and then, okay, now it's this week, we have to get that person. Okay.
Yes.
Then if that doesn't work, okay, put it in the book. Next week we have to get it, because then I have other things to do in between, a lot. So, and that means also, my life.
Sure.
Living your life.
Of course.
With fun.
Yes.
With fun. So
just to get away from, yes.
Not just work, right?
Absolutely.
But this work is very fulfilling work, I have to tell you, because it is a service, and service, as we know, if it's a service that has a purpose, a service that's helping others, something that you see the purpose for it, I mean, that could be very fulfilling.
It is.
Because you're making something good out of your life.
And you have Jones Joy Foundation, which you're working at 24/7. That's the foundation, and the other is Let's Be Safe program for children. So all of your work transcends to children, the protection of.
These are all. It's all for the well-being of children, safety of children, and really not just talk, because a lot of times it's just talk. I mean, here we do things, and our goal is to get it done, and have a goal that's going to be not just a goal that's going to work. We're going to get that goal done, because so many things what we do is just common sense. It's really true, coming from the heart to help the children, and I also work with helping victims.
Yes,
a lot. And now I started coaching and mentoring service.
I want to ask you about that. Right.
Yes. So then in that place, I help people that are grieving, help people that are victims of crime, help people to, like, say the work that I did, like, to show the work of what the human spirit can do after tragedy.
Absolutely.
And then also, I love working with the young people, even people that you're going to laugh, but some people that they don't know they have so much in them, and they're like really like a little bit like too shy.
Yes.
And I love working with people like that to bring them out and empower them.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Because they're just sometimes left to the side. Even I was a teacher, and you could see I was a special ed teacher.
Aww.
And you could see, how those children are quiet. They're there, but they're just as important as the child that is the whiz in the class.
And outspoken. You're so right. You're so very, very right. Now, Rosemarie, the book, The Message of Light Amid Letters of Darkness, let's talk. It was released September 7th, the day of Joan's birthday, and you have it. Tell us about the book and where people. Okay. So you go ahead.
The book is, you see, I got all these letters that were written by the killer to a pen pal. And we have fundraisers. So the son of the pen pal came from Pennsylvania to give them to me.
Oh, my goodness.
So I get all these. I could not do anything with them. There was over 300 letters. I can't do anything until the killer would die. So that was in 2000. I think it was 2018. And so during that time, gave them to the parole board. The parole board had more information. So this way we could keep the killer in longer. The more information you have, and this was very important information. But of course, society didn't know about these letters.
How did he give them to you, Rosemarie? If you don't mind, I would like to.
I was on a patio. And we were having a fundraiser, and that was the time that we were fighting to keep the killer in prison. It was 2008, and he brings me this box of letters.
How did he know you were there?
I asked him. He said he had seen something on the internet.
Oh, okay.
And like in our getting the communication out. But he had seen something about the fight, Yes. Because that was getting big. It was all over New Jersey. And in every paper, Southern New Jersey, every paper. So anyway, I get these letters and I have them. And then after, I said, what do I do with them? I was going to use them a different way, just to make it specific for investigators, forensic people. And then I was enlightened to make this a book, not just these letters just be about darkness. We were going to bring light. So that's the message of light. Yes, and the light was going to be my story. It was going to be, I was going to parallel to the dates of these letters, and you have my story. And then my story is quite intense. It's not just a simple story.
It's letters.
I went,
Excerpts from the
No.
letters.
it's the excerpts from the letters are there. But then when
Okay.
I parallel my life,
Right.
to when these letters were written. And first of all, you see the way they're written, you feel it, you see the writing, you see the first letter was written a month after Joan died. And he's talking like nothing ever happened.
He never
talking
admitted to
about,
it.
"Oh,
He never admitted to it in any of his
thank
letters.
you." No, he never did in his head, no. But he knew he did it because he was not insane. But he just was able to pretend that he didn't do it. So it was just about him trying to get out. Yeah,
He was just,
that's what it was about.
and he was talking.
And then I parallel my life because there's two parts. There's the darkness and there's the light. So the letters are the darkness. My life is the light, you see?
Yes.
And how did I approach this? What did I do to work with it, to make it be light? How did I see the hope? And I saw hope. Yeah.
And
I
you,
saw hope.
absolutely. And this is during a 34-year span. The letters were written to
Yes.
the pen pal. And
Yes.
was she the mother of the person who dropped the letters to you?
Yes,
Ah.
she was.
Okay. Very interesting. Very
And
interesting.
then later, we were going to find out that her son, who gave me those who came to my house, and you will see in the prologue of the book, guess what? I couldn't believe it. John found out and researched. John is one of my sons. He's
Yes.
my youngest of 5 children. And he was always doing research that that person was a pedophile.
Oh, my goodness.
And he was stalking girls about 13 to 16
Wow.
for years. They took 2 years, the law enforcement, to find him.
And they did.
When they found him, there was a fight, and he killed himself.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Was he put in jail at that point before he committed suicide or during the...
No,
Okay.
no, all that time was free.
Okay. It's horrible. It's these people, I don't know.
This is more than horrible. It's more than horrible. Just put yourself in the shoes of the mothers
I can't, I know.
whose
I
kids
can't.
were being stalked through letters that was sent to their house because he knew about them. He would go on the internet and he would start getting to know them from when they were 5 through pictures and all.
Oh.
And then he'd send a letter when they were about 13.
Well, now they are putting more. They're putting more stops on the internet for certain ages of children, aren't they? I mean, I think that there is a mechanism that you can block out, or it's a safety mechanism that parents can put on computers that their children are using. I hope it should be by law. That should be a law that's passed. Children under a certain age should not be able to get. There should be a safety device on the computer.
You know what? There's so much work to do.
Yes. You're right,
So
Rosemarie.
much work to do, but that doesn't mean it's not possible.
You're right.
It is possible.
You're
It's possible.
You're
But
absolutely right.
we have to focus on it and not just talk. We have to do things together to make it work. So now here we have this book, and this book could be a stimulus and a focus and give you information how to get laws through. How did I do it? I go through it. How do
You live it.
How do you focus? How do you focus? What do you do? How do you get to, not giving up
Yes.
and doing it?
Right.
And you know what? I know a lot of you out there that are listening can do it. And you're not going to give up. Once you get the idea of what it's about, what has to be changed. And this book will be a very good information for you. And it's also in the audio book now.
Oh, you do
And
have audio.
Yes,
That's one.
yes,
Tell us about the
yes.
audio. Where can people
The audio book
purchase
is
that?
dynamic. dynamic. We had to pick the actress for it. So I wanted a voice, and I would get Michael and John in it. We'd all work to pick the voice of the person, and we wanted something with life,
Yes.
a little bit more like the way we're talking.
Of course.
Not like, okay, this is what he did.
Right.
Like that. So we got someone, and when she reads it, she'll say, goodbye, Mommy, like that.
Oh,
Make it
real.
The way she reads it. Yeah.
She makes it.
And when she reads the letters, she reads it like he's feeling sorry for himself.
And that's wonderful. Well, it breaks through. It breaks through. And how long is the audio version of the book, Rosemarie?
I think it's about 15 hours.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
No.
You know, you could
Interesting.
you could be in the car. I know now there's a television director. She's listening to the book on the audio, because before she does an interview with me, she wants to go through the book.
Yes.
So she's doing it when she does the travels, and she has to travel a little long, about an hour. So, it's good. The audio book is very good, because I know I like audiobooks.
I do, and many people do, because they're traveling. They can listen to the story and then turn it back on. And Rosemarie, what about the documentary?
But in the book, I just want to say there's lots of pictures.
Pictures, yes.
And pictures are fun.
I love that.
Like 46 pictures around there.
Wow.
And then, it's a book. It's very big, 6 pounds, 850 pages.
Whoa.
But remember, we have 332 letters that are printed in here.
And that, yes.
Yeah.
So the book starts with darkness and ends with light, and as you mentioned, has many unexpected, intriguing occurrences. So, but before I go on with you, Rosemarie, it's available on jonesjoy.org. That's JOANSJOY.org. We'll give that to you again, and they can purchase the book or the audio book. Right, Rosemarie?
And if you get the book through that, everyone, jonesjoy.org, you'll get the book for $30 less.
Wow.
Than Amazon.
Oh, that's terrific. Now, Rosemarie, didn't you do a documentary, or were you in the process of doing a documentary?
Well, I was it was about Joan and me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the documentary was called Daughter of Mine.
Yes.
And it was done by a filmmaker called Vanessa Williams. Vanessa Williams. You laugh at that. Vanessa Martino. And so it's been out now. I've seen it 5 times, and it's gotten 5 awards.
Oh my, congratulations.
And the last one, thank you. The last one was in Sparta, New Jersey, and that was about 2 weeks ago. And she has, if people want to show it, they can show it at their community center and all. And you could go on to her site. I think it's daughterofminefilm.com. Yeah, Daughter of Mine Film.
Several awards, including the recent New Jersey Doc Fest link, and that's jonesjoy.org. Also, you can go on there to see the trailer of daughterofminefilm.com. That's amazing. They should do a movie or something on this, as far a lifetime movie.
Television. Yeah, I wish you'd get on television.
Lifetime is the perfect channel for this, because they have a lot of these stories that they're in the press but not that prevalent. And this should have been nationwide with Joan at the time.
No, this has to be big.
Yes.
The book has to get around for society.
Yes.
It's slow right now, but I'm being told in my head, just keep on going. And now we just got an angel that came into our lives.
Oh.
And he's going to start to do something, and he's involved with marketing. So he wants to work with the book. Yeah.
That's what I'm sure the more it gets out there, the more people that hear about this, Rosemarie. I don't know why it hasn't been on 2020 or 24 hours, 48 hours. It should have been at this point. They do other stories that
No,
mean
Lori, I
nothing.
agree with you.
That mean
I
nothing.
agree with you.
I totally
agree with you.
This.
No, but it's not because of me.
No.
It's
I know how you are.
society.
Your
It's a
apps.
bigger-
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a
It's a big
learning.
picture.
It's a learning mechanism for parents and
Yes.
for people
Yes.
to know what to do, how to protect
Yes.
your children. You have the Let's Be Safe program, but many parents don't realize this. They let the kids, they just don't know. But this is a reminder of what should be done and what can happen if you don't, if you're not safe with your
You know
children.
what? You got to be a squeaky wheel
Absolutely.
to get
I
something
agree.
good out. You hear about so many bad things, and this is bad, but yet there's so much positive about it.
Yes.
And that's what people need to see, and they need to see what we can do as people to change things. That's what's important to me.
Yes.
And that's why I want to speak to a lot of people, I mean, not just, thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, no.
That's the way
Anytime.
we could grow.
Anytime,
But
Rosemarie.
just to speak to people, yeah.
And to get the word out, because there are so many things going on. But again, parents become sometimes not negligent, but they take things for granted, and you can never. You need. My mother always said, you need eyes in the back of your head when you have kids. It's difficult, and you have to watch them. So parents, should be teaching. So what should parents be teaching children, Rosemarie? Let me just intercept this, of stranger danger. You've been there and you're always teaching children, I'm sure, but what could we tell our parents out there and grandparents? What should they teach their children?
Well, first of all, the more the more that you develop confidence in the child, that's very important. Okay?
Yes.
So they have that to go out into society with, right? Now, as far as with parents and grandparents, you want to always remember that your child is a child, and he has to have, or she has to have, the fun of a child. You can't overprotect them against, you can't say, I don't not want to tell them about that, don't want to tell them about this. There's a way for them to give information to the child, no matter what his age, about how to be safe.
Yes.
And even the story about Joan, a child sees her picture. They don't know what it's about, but they hear the people in the background. Oh, she's the one.
Yeah.
You know how that child is going to feel?
Absolutely.
That child is going to be more afraid.
Yes.
But if you go to that child and say, well, Joan is in heaven, and she helped children, and what happened to her is that, a person that was not a good person, a bad person, hurt her. And she wants you to learn how to take care of yourself, not to do certain things, not to go to the door of a neighbor, if you're feeling uncomfortable with an adult. It could even be anybody in your family.
Sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it can, just don't erase it.
Right.
Go and tell someone that you trust.
Absolutely.
Because some children don't trust their father, don't trust their mother, don't trust their grandmother. You're talking about all children now. But there's someone they're going to trust. Okay? It could be a teacher. It could be, they have a sense. Children have a sense.
They do.
Who's on their side.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, it will be the mother, thank God, and the father,
Yes.
and the grandmother, and the grandfather, and a good aunt, okay, etc., etc. But it's like talking to them in a way that you're respecting them as a person and not hushing. That's the worst thing you could do.
That's right.
That's the worst thing you could do. I have children coming to me at the Child Safety Fest. And they're saying, why aren't people telling me about Joan?
Oh,
I want to know about her.
Sure.
And they don't tell me.
Now, Rosemarie,
they're protecting the kid. No, you don't do that.
No, you're absolutely right. We're up against the clock, and I want you to come back soon, maybe in June or July, whenever you can. So September 2nd is going to be the next big event, right? And so let's look at
27th.
the 27th. Okay.
And the rain date is the 28th.
And that's going to be in Hillsdale at the train station. This is the
child train station at the Child Safety Garden. And
please go. Yes.
If you have any questions, or you could get information always on jonesjoy.org.
Please buy the book, Rosemarie D'Alessandro. Joan's legacy protects all children in the United States and brings awareness to child safety and protection forever under your jurisdiction. Rosemarie D'Alessandro, you're an angel. You're our hero. Thank you so much. And please come back soon. We will talk soon, Rosemarie.
Hey, Lori, thank you.
Oh, don't thank me.
So much.
I'm just I'm just a messenger. We love you for everything you're doing. You've continued to do.
Great messenger.
Thank you, Rosemarie. We'll talk soon. God bless you.
Okay, bye, everybody.
God bless Joan. Thank you, Rosemarie. Thanks, Josh. We love all of you out there. Be safe with your children. That's all we need to do.